Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. So, when you think about human resources, does the word disrupt come to mind? If it doesn't, we have some guests with us this morning who are going to be sharing just how disrupt and HR can work hand in hand. So in studio, we have with us Charlene Pedro from Conventus Consult Inc. And joining us virtually, we have Julie Turney, the Disrupt HR lead organizer. Good morning to both of you and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure to have both of you with us on the show this morning. And we want to get straight into this conversation because it's quite interesting play on words. So we're going to start with Julie this morning. Julie, tell us a little bit about Disrupt HR.
Sure. So Disrupt HR is basically an information exchange on how we can improve the world of work. Essentially, if you think about an event like TEDx, you can look at it as TEDx on steroids because we do things a little bit differently. If you're giving a TED Talk, you usually have about 20 minutes to give your TED Talk. But on Disrupt HR, you have 5 minutes to give your presentation and tell your story about how we can make the world of work a better place. You get to use a maximum of 20 slides, and the slides auto-rotate at 15 seconds a slide. So our speakers really have to be in tune with their presentations as they share their information with our audience. And because we're disruptive that way, but it's not just HR professionals that get to present, even though we are called Disrupt HR. It's about how everyone in the workplace can express what they think needs to be done to make the workplace a better place.
Wow, well, definitely the perfect play on words. And this is the perfect place to have, of course, the Trinidad edition 1.0, because as Trinis, we definitely can flip things upside down a little bit and disrupt. So, Charlene, welcome again to studio. Tell us a little bit about the Trinidad edition. Where is it going to be held and how did you get involved?
Okay, well, we'll start with the location. It's on the 25th of July, and it will be held at Songforge in St. James. I think it's an ideal location for the kind of vibe that Disrupt HR will bring. My involvement, I say, goes back to pre-COVID days. I was scheduled to speak in the Barbados edition, and then COVID happened.
Right.
So, I mean, as fate would have it, and nothing happens before its time. So I am joining Julie, my friend Julie, on the stage for Disrupt HR for the first time, as you say, 1.0. And it's really going to be a fantastic, I would call it a celebration, because we are finally here in Trinidad and Tobago for the first time. And let me just add that it's not your, come sit down and listen. If you know Julie Turney, you know it's going to have a lot of engagement and fun activities. So it's really going to be different.
It sounds like it's definitely going to be different. And Julie, we are getting to know you a lot better this morning, from this phenomenal idea, which is going to be changing lives, to how you now have been involved in it. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been involved in Disrupt.
So I've been attending Disrupt HR events for maybe about 8 to 10 years now. And I finally made the decision that I thought this was something really great that we could have in Barbados. And that's where it all started. And I got to this point in my career as an HR professional. I was like, this is my year of yes. I want to say yes to doing new things and great things that are going to change the way we talk about and the way that we create products and services in the HR space. And so 4 years ago, I started Disrupt HR in Barbados, but then I decided, you know what? I don't think Barbados is enough. And I was like, could we get this in Trinidad and Jamaica? Now, you have to purchase the license, which I did for Barbados. And then I asked if the licenses were available for Trinidad and Jamaica. And I was told, yes, they're actually available. And I was like, well, go big or go home. So let's try this. So this is our first year launching in Trinidad, and we hope that we'll be able to have it in Trinidad continuously. We've had 4 events so far in Barbados that are face-to-face, but during the pandemic, we were forced to switch it up a little bit. And so we did have our events online. Not the same format, but more on panel discussions about how we could navigate the pandemic. They were very well attended. We had happy hours at the end of them, which people enjoyed virtually, getting to know each other from all over the world. And now that we're able to have our events in the Caribbean, we want them to be one big knowledge exchange, but also one big event where people know and can get to know HR professionals and understand that we're not fun suckers. We're actually really great people who want to create great experiences in the workplace. And this is one of the ways that we're going to do that. It's also a great vehicle for people who have never spoken publicly before, but want to share their stories. And that's why 5 minutes is such a great way for them to do that.
It definitely is. Now, you mentioned that this is a vehicle for those who haven't spoken in a public place before, and also that this is including others aside from HR professionals. So, who exactly can speak at these events?
That's a really good question. So, any business professional who wants to make the world of work a better place can speak at these events. So if you're a CEO, if you're in finance, if you're in marketing, and you've had an experience in the workplace that you think could be made better, you can come and share that story and make your recommendations on the Disrupt HR stage. And so a lot of our speakers for this first event actually are not HR professionals. They're communication experts, marketing experts, LinkedIn experts, and coaches. And so along with HR professionals, we're going to have a good mix of professionals on stage talking about how we can make work a better place.
It sounds absolutely amazing. Of course, viewers, you see the flyer on screen there now. Some familiar faces who are going to be at Disrupt HR happening on the 25th of July. Charlene, let's bring you back into the conversation. So we've heard about who can speak. Tell us, who can attend Disrupt HR?
Any professional. I think the topics and the style and vibe of Disrupt HR is suitable for anyone who's looking to improve their workplace, improve their relationships at work. The topics are varied, quite varied, and I think Disrupt HR allows the speakers to bring something fresh, a fresh perspective. We are so accustomed with the old school and the status quo and what we have learned in academia. Disrupt HR allows us to bring something fresh to the stage based on experience.
Oh, wonderful. Really looking forward to this conversation. Julie, we're going to come back to you for a short moment because we want to hear about some of the sponsors who are involved in Disrupt HR Trinidad 1.0.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go to my list for that. So some of our sponsors include HR at Heart Consulting, Inc., Gildan, CaribbeanJobs.com, Massey Learning Institute, Pace Digital, LFR Education and Consulting Services, 24 Frames Production, the Caribbean Society for Human Resources Professionals, which is known as C-Sharp, and we are also in association with HRMAT, which is the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago. We're very excited to have the support of HRMAT HR associations on the ground, and we're really looking forward to collaborating on this event with HRMAT and also future events.
Now, briefly, Julie, you did share that there have been 4 of these in Barbados to date. Can you share with us perhaps what changes you have seen in Barbados since Disrupt HR came on the scene?
Sure. So the conversations around work and how we improve the world of work really have changed. Because of the events that we've had so far, we've seen a lot of people asking us questions around what are some of the things that I could do to improve a policy? What are some of the ways that I could better engage my staff? And so we get lots of questions around how can we really make the world of work a better place, but how can we make the workplace in Barbados better? And so it really has been a great vehicle to start having those conversations. And we really want to continue to spark those conversations and get people to think a little bit differently about how we treat employees in the workplace, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from. And how can we create better experiences? So the conversations around experiences versus people just coming to work and you giving them the necessary tools that they need to do their jobs effectively, but how can we create better experiences for our employees so that they want to stay, so they'll tell others about who we are and what we do, and help us to build our talent pipelines in the workplace.
This sounds like it is transformational. I'm hearing from you now, of course, it has been in Barbados, and it's critical to seeing the change throughout the Caribbean. As you would have said, Charlene, removing a bit of that status quo. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us this morning on the Now Morning Show. Charlene, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Julie, thank you so much for being with us as well, and looking forward to seeing many more Disrupt HR editions in Trinidad and Tobago. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha.
This is the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up that you do not want to miss.